The Very Hungry Hamster. An allegory, and definitely not a story about anyone in particular. Really, Scout's honour, not at all. Once upon a time, there was a very hungry hamster. This hamster led a simple life. Every morning, when he woke up, he would eat. After eating, which made Hamster awfully tired, he would rest for a while. While resting, he liked to have what he called a good think. Hamster liked having a good think. It was his third favourite thing to do after eating, and almost as good as his second favourite thing, which was resting. Hamster always thought about the same things during his good think, and that was, what would I like to eat next? Hamster thought about food, and about eating food. Hamster thought about food and about eating food a lot. He even thought about food he had already eaten, and liked to reminisce about food he ate when he was just a little hamster. Every day for Hamster was the same, and that was A-OK as far as Hamster was concerned. After his after-breakfast rest, Hamster would decide that perhaps today was not the day for making food to eat. That today was the day for getting other people to make food for him. Perhaps even getting professional people to make the food for him, or for them to bring the food to him directly. That way, Hamster could continue resting and having a good think about food, of course, while the food was being prepared. This was a very good idea, Hamster concluded. And so, Hamster rested. Hamster had the occasional good think, and Hamster ate. Rest, think, eat. Eat, think, rest. And Hamster repeated this cycle again and again and again until bedtime. Then again the next day, and again the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Hamster thought he had a good life. Hamster thought he was happy. You see, the problem the very hungry hamster had was that the very hungry hamster didn't have any control over eating. It wasn't that the hungry hamster was lazy or not very smart when it came to deciding what to eat or how much to eat. No. Hamster knew what was good for him and what was not. The problem the very hungry hamster had was that he was, what the grown-ups would say, addicted to food. It's a very big word and a little scary, isn't it? Don't worry. I'll try to explain it in a way that will make it seem a little less big and a little less scary for you. You see, there are some kind of foods, the kind of foods that the hamster liked the most, in fact, that when Hamster ate them, made him feel extra happy. Not just the happy you feel when you get your favourite ice cream on a really hot day after you've been riding your bike in the sun, no. But the kind of extra happy you feel when you get to play with a puppy or a kitten, or when you fall in love. You'll understand this better when you're a grown-up. Every time the hamster ate one of these foods, which I shall call rockets, because once you let a rocket blast off, you cannot stop it, Hamster would feel so very, very happy. So happy, it was like playing with a kitten on his birthday with somebody he loved all the time. But, and this is the sad part, the happy feeling didn't last very long at all. Not as long as it takes to make popcorn in the microwave, and not nearly as long as it takes to eat ice cream in the sun. And because the happy feelings made Hamster so very happy, he wanted to feel it again. So Hamster did the only thing he knew to do to make him happy and to make the happy feeling come back, and that was to eat another rocket food. Can you see the problem here, everyone? If Hamster ate a rocket food, he would be happy, but only for a little while. So, to feel happy again, Hamster would have to eat some more rocket food. But that happy didn't last either. So what do you think Hamster had to do to feel happy again? That's right. Hamster had to eat some more rocket food. Hamster liked feeling happy. In fact, Hamster only wanted to feel happy. Happy all the time, in fact. But we all know that this is not how life is supposed to be, don't we? No one can be happy all of the time. And the problem with trying to be happy all of the time is when you're not happy, you are very, very, very unhappy. And that makes you want to eat the rocket food even more. So as we can see, the very hungry hamster was very, very stuck. Everybody who knew the very hungry hamster knew that the hamster was stuck and wanted to help him. Even his very bestest friend in the whole entire world, the very lanky lizard, wanted to help him. But he didn't know the very bestest way to do this. Lizard thought he just had to tell Hamster what to do and everything would be fixed. What Lizard didn't realise was that Hamster would do everything Hamster could do to do the complete opposite of what Lizard would tell him. He would cry, he would sulk, he would shout and lie and say he felt too bad, or that he would try tomorrow, or that it was too hard, and he would take advantage of their friendship with Lizard and make Lizard feel very, very bad about themselves. The very bestest way the very lanky lizard could help their very bestest friend in the whole entire world would be to get someone else to help the very hungry hamster. Someone who had helped other very hungry hamsters to stop needing to eat their rocket foods. Someone who had a very important job that they had worked very, very hard to get, spending years and years and years in school for. Who the very lanky lizard needed to ask help was the very clever kitty. You see, the very clever kitty was a therapist. Now, a therapist is a special kind of doctor whose job is to help you with your feelings. Your feelings about things that have happened to you and your feelings about what might happen to you. The very clever kitty was a therapist that helped others who had very bad feelings about food. Dr. Kitty would talk to the very hungry hamster to find out why hamster felt like they needed to eat so much to feel happy, and hopefully, in time, hamster would learn to fix those feelings in a different way. Hamster would also need help from Dr. Dog. Dr. Dog was a special kind of doctor called a nutritionalist, and Dr. Dog's job was to teach others the best way to eat foods that would keep them healthy. Dr. Dog would teach hamster that the only way they could help themselves was to stop eating the rocket foods completely, until hamster had learned from Dr. Kitty how to control their feelings. Dr. Dog would also tell the very hungry hamster that they would have to stop eating firework food also. Firework foods are foods that are similar to rocket foods, but are not as quite as bad. If hamster's favourite rocket food was French fries, then their firework food would be potato chips. If their favourite was desserts, then the firework food would be candy. But if hamster really wanted to get better, hamster would also have to avoid matchstick foods. Matchstick foods are like the baby version of firework foods. So French fries were the rocket food and potato chips are the firework food, then potatoes would be the matchstick food. If desserts were the rocket food and candy was the firework food, then sugar would be the matchstick food. Once hamster had been able to not eat rocket, firework or matchstick foods for a while without making mistakes, and when both Dr. Kitty and Dr. Dog felt they were ready, Hamster could try adding one matchstick food back into their diet. If the matchstick food made them want to eat a firework food, which made them want to eat a rocket food, then Hamster would have to start all over again. Hamster would have to keep doing this until he could eat any matchstick food without wanting to eat any firework food or rocket food, and hopefully Hamster would never need to eat either rocket or firework foods ever again to feel happy. Hamster would also need some help from Professor Parrot, another feelings doctor who would help Hamster figure out why they needed to feel happy all the time and why they needed to play pretend and imagine that everything was always hunky-dory. And then, only then, could the very hungry hamster and their bestest friend in the whole entire world, the very lanky lizard, could live happily ever after. The end.